Welcome to Dog Hugs, your daily dog show. Spider and I are really excited to be with you today. And I am really grateful for the guests that you're going to get to meet in a moment because they are true international masters of behavior, both for dogs and, more importantly, for us humans too. You're really going to enjoy meeting them. And they're going to help Spider and me to get a little bit better. We'll see that live here right on the show. So I am so glad to have you with us. And let's see here. So Spider, as you know, I adopted him coming up on 5 years ago in July. And before that, we met on one of my film sets. I make films with shelter dogs to help them get adopted. Well, Spider was a dog who didn't get adopted. You see, the single biggest reason in my experience that homeless dogs don't get adopted is lack of training. So what if we were to teach them dog tricks? Yes, dog tricks. Now that may seem like a magic trick, but as you've seen throughout the show, they're actually pretty easy to learn. And yet that said, it doesn't mean that they're super well trained. Sometimes it takes us more work as humans in order to be able to maintain that kind of good training. Now, Spider right here wants a lot of attention, and my mistake is often giving him too much attention. So as you've seen on the show before, I have a busy box, and it's right up here. We're in my writer's office today, and here's a box filled with towels and treats, and Spider is going to get busy with this right over here so we can start the interview. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, Spider. All right, you guys. Well, hello to one of our regular guests, visitors, Bailey Blackstone. Great to see you. And yes, hello to Spider. Hey, Bailey says hello. And now we've got Randall Walter, first time here. Great to have you. And looks like you've got some mean stogie there, Randall. That's quite a good one. Great to have you with us. All right, well, let's get going with the big feature of today's show. We have three amazing masters of training and behavior together. And for quite a number of weeks during the quarantine, they were all together in one place. And I'm curious to know what that life has been like. So we have now back in London, CHIRAG Patel. He's an animal behavior specialist working with dogs and other domestic animals and zoos and all kinds of stuff, research facilities. He's an expert in husbandry training, voluntary training, and he also has his own shows, and he has organized the International Training and Behavior Conference, WOOF, which, as you folks who know about my brand, Positively WOOF, that really delights me to hear. Then we have, you've seen her on the show before, EVA BERTILSSON from Sweden, who is still in North Carolina. And EVA trains, she's an animal behavior specialist working with pets and zoo animals and humans. And she's part of the TAG Teach faculty. Now, our third guest is THERESA McKEON, who is in North Carolina. This is at the farm where the three of them have been together for quite some weeks. And she co-founded what we'll learn about, TAG Teach International. Those are the principles of what we call clicker training, marking, telling a person or human or animal, yes, you've done what I wanted. We click right at the right moment. That mark is precisely teaches us, yes. So Pat Teaching International, she applies that for humans. Really, really just brilliant work. All right, let's bring them all on together. Here we go. We've got, let's bring everybody on together. Eva, and man, I got to get you so the audience could see everybody. Oh, you're going to sit close together. That's very good. Well,
we've been together. We've been together, so we're allowed to. The social distancing doesn't have to happen.
Right, right. And welcome also, Chirag. So we've got
thank you.
Eva and Theresa in the middle, Chirag on your right, on the right of your screen. Now, Chirag, you're back in London, and you were with the folks for how long?
I think it worked out to about 8 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks. And so we had a fantastic, amazing time. And I just got back about 2 weeks ago.
Wow. So, Theresa, this is at your farm. And what inspired you? How did this happen together?
Well, I offered and they accepted. We were all at we were all at Clicker Expo, and unfortunately for everyone involved, it got shut down the first night. The governor shut down the state. We all had to go home, and they had just gotten there, just flown in from overseas. And I said, well, I've got extra bedrooms if you want to come stay with me. Ha 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 ha. And they were like,
let's
okay.
do that.
Let's rent her up on it. Let's see if she really needs it.
I called up my husband and went, just to let you know.
We're having some house guests. They're staying for more than 3 days.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
We were planning to stay for like 3 days, and then we were gonna get a flight back home. It's just with the corona situation escalating in Europe, it seemed like and just because this is a fabulous place, it sort of seemed to make sense to stay here rather than go home.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yes. So what have you guys been doing? I mean, well, let me back up a little bit. Theresa, you've got this amazing farm, you know, out in North Carolina. And what's it been like having these farm hands with you? And tell us about the farm.
It's amazing how much you can get done with 3 people instead of one old lady. You know, it has been, in all seriousness, we didn't know. You never know what it's going to be like to live with somebody. And the house is small. It's a pretty small house. We moved here to upsize the land and downsize the house. So you just didn't know. And it has been life-changing, not only for me, but my husband and some of my extended family members. What they brought is life-changing. Truly. CHIRAG did something really interesting for us. He got us all to go on a non-sugar diet for 10 days that we kept extending, and we've all changed our lifestyles. My husband's lost like 25 pounds. I've lost like 10. I don't know how much CHIRAG has lost, but it really changed the way we looked at a lot of things. So not only was there some amazing animal training going on and discussion after discussion after discussion ad infinitum, but the rest of it was life-changing as well. So I just couldn't be more appreciative of both of them.
CHIRAG, what inspired you to start a no-sugar diet for the whole team?
During the pandemic.
Oh, it looks like CHIRAG froze up for a second here.
Well, let me tell you why what happened is
okay.
He cooks.
CHIRAG, you
like
may
a fiend.
CHIRAG, you may want to log off and come back on. Let's see if we can get you again.
He makes homemade bread. He made homemade pizza. He made homemade desserts. We ate like kings for about 2 weeks.
And we started with like eating out and doing cocktails and things on our way here. And then we got here and we just kept eating this fabulous food. But we also kept adding desserts,
For lunch.
ice cream, just add on and add on and add on until I think we couldn't increase anymore. So the only way out was to do something different.
Yeah. So
And doing that together, you know, Larry, doing things like that might be a challenge in your regular life, being in a new environment and just being together with people and doing a change like that, and having, like, everything in our environment was set for success. In that there was no force, it was no we have to do this, it's like, yay, let's try and see if it works.
yes, well, Chirag already has somebody wanting to have have him come and get her on a diet too.
That was amazing.
Okay, Anna. Very good. You know, so you've had these amazing conversations, which were in and of itself they're your own conference, to have all of you together, you know, on your farm. And I know you guys could dive really deep into the professional lingo of what it means to be trainers. If you could interpret, you know, for, you know, the lay people, you know, what does it mean to have these kinds of deep conversations?
Well, I think first and foremost it means figuring out what can we do to make our animals' lives better. Like, what can we do practically?
I love hearing that. You know, sometimes as a trainer, you know, I will fall into the mistake of thinking, you know, even though I'm doing it positively, I want this animal to conform to what I want.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you know, I'm not beating the dog with a stick. I'm luring the dog with the cookie or other rewards, but the focus still is on me. You guys have taken it to the next step where you're saying, how can I come to you, the animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we had a few things that I asked. We have a potbelly pig who was a rescue and was in need of a foot trim.
Yes.
And the only thing that he'd had before was force him into a cage, throw him up in the back of a truck. Are we still on? Okay. Oh, there he is, Conway. And I wanted to ask them, because they're both of them so good at husbandry training. Can we do this where the pig comes to us and stands there while we trim his very long, very tough hooves? And we went through a lot of discussions because we had the time. They were going to be here for a while, so we did a lot of discussion, and we did it. It was amazing.
So, you know, I see the pig going right toward you guys, toward the horses, and Chirag, you're leading the horse. Chirag is leading the horse with a target to touch with his nose, and Eva is in the background with another horse, and the pig is just enjoying life there. So the dog looks like the dog is tormenting the pig.
Oh no, is they really? Oh yeah, they play.
They play.
Possibly
the dog and the pig play. That's really good.
No, they every day.
So we're seeing a bit of what's going on here, where Chirag in the foreground is leading the horse toward the target. Now you can see Eva leading the horse toward this target to touch the target with his nose. And oh, great, Chirag is back with us. How lovely! Welcome back, Chirag. We're showing this video of you guys with the horses, and then the pig was there for a minute. Well, one of you talk about what's going on. What are you doing with this target stick?
I think in this session, we were working on teaching them to station next to each other nice and calmly, so Teddy and Prozac, and be able to stay with an individual trainer, so that they can focus with one person without displacing each other or telling each other off or asking each other to get out of each other's spaces, and just teaching each other that if you're standing nice and calmly, focusing towards the person working with you, then lots of good things happen. So that's what we were working on in this clip.
Yes. So now they're standing next to each other by choice rather than you're having to leash up their reins.
Exactly. There's no pressure or force. They could choose to move away if they wanted to. And so it's using the target sticks, which are being taught to them by if they move their nose towards the stick, good things happen. And so they want to be there. They want to move towards that target stick. And so it's all done voluntarily, and they have the option to opt in or opt out.
Oh, that's great, to give the horse the total option. I really love that emphasis on taking the positivity to the next level, meaning that, as a dog trainer, I really emphasize positive rewards. You're taking it to even a further level to really emphasize more about choice.
Definitely, and I think Eva, Theresa, and myself all are very strong believers in wanting to use allowing the animal to have a lot of control and be able to choose to participate, as opposed to just forcing them to be in a situation or a session. And if you're able to allow for that participation, then essentially the learner wants to be there, and it's more reinforcing for their behaviors to actually want to be, then interact with us as well.
That's really true. What I know in dog training is when Spider has discovered a trick or behavior, he loves doing that one that he has discovered the most. For example, one of the tricks that he really loves is footsies, where he stands between my legs and puts his paws on top of my feet. Well, he just started doing that, and now it's become one of his favorite tricks because he chose it. Theresa, you also work with humans, and I would love to show a video of you teaching some humans by your method called TAG. And I'm gonna put up on screen. You can please narrate this and tell us what's going on. So this girl
is actually Joan Orr, who is another co-founder of Tag Teach International, working with some kids on learning the Fosbury flop, which is a very complicated skill. She had never done the skill, nor could she demonstrate it in any way. So she went on the internet and found what we call tag points, or things that she could mark and have the kids do individually, and just had the kids go in the backyard and started doing it. And it's become one of our most favorite videos.
So,
have you ever high jumped before? Okay, Jennifer, I'll show you. The tag point
this is a high jumping technique. That's called the Fosbury flop.
Okay.
And if you hear off camera, there's a click.
I can't. I like landing on a bar.
So in the very beginning, you hear, oh, I can't do it. But no one says, oops, that was wrong, or, ugh, try it again. She would just give a new skill, and every time they do it right, they hear a click. And if it's not right, they don't hear anything, and they can ask to do it again. If something's too difficult for them, she takes the skill back to make it a little easier.
And I like how it's breaking down. Focus on landing shoulders, not on anything else, just on the shoulders in this case.
So she didn't quite do the skill, so Joan breaks it up and takes the leg lift out separately.
Right leg bent.
So just breaks it apart, tries it a few times, and you notice that Joan's not doing a lot of talking.
The tag point
She gives them what she wants them to do, and then there's a click if it's right, and no click if they need to try again.
Sorry, I was talking. I wasn't watching.
She was like, wait, I did it right and you didn't click. So they're really listening for that feedback.
So the burden is as much on me, the teacher, to tag, to click at the right moment.
And we have what's called peer tagging. They can tag each other because the skill is so small. They can tag each other, which really in team sports makes everybody participants instead of waiting a line.
After you're over, the tag point is kick both legs.
Kick both legs.
The tag point is arch back.
Yes. Beautiful.
So this is really wonderful to teach us as humans.
So this is crazy how complicated this skill
Look at
is.
that. Wow.
But it was about 15 minutes, and Joan showed it to a track coach, and he said that, you know, that could take a year to teach.
Oh, really? And she's doing it in 15 minutes. So it started with I can't do it, and 15 minutes later, chariots of fire. We're at the Olympics. Look at that. Legs up. Boom. Brilliant.
And never once did she say, ugh, no, or I told you you're supposed to, you know, do your shoulders, or even just babbling like I'm doing now. It was a very quiet session. You can learn.
Yeah, it's really true. Now, Spider, the naughty.
How old are you?
Oops, here, I'm gonna.
Have you ever high jumped before?
So Spider, the naughty trick dog, is real quiet as long as he's got, you know, his own stuff going on here. Now, how could I do a better job of rewarding that so that once he does come on camera, he doesn't start acting out?
I love that you have it all set up, Larry. That's
Pardon me?
awesome.
Say
I love that you have it all set up already. It's awesome.
I have him set up for success. Yeah, it really is. You know, my want is that he would behave on camera, that he wouldn't interrupt the show. And that's about my want. That's not about Spider's want.
And one of the things we can look at is even breaking that down a bit further. So when we say we'd like him to be well behaved on camera, what would that look like for him? So what would Spider be doing when he's being well behaved? And then that would give you a lot of components that we can start to make it worthwhile for Spider to want to be there and do those things.
Well, yeah, that's a great question. So, and by the way, I'm going to show in the background of you guys working with these horses again, with Theresa's horses. What it would look like for me is that if we're here in my writer's studio, that Spider is right up here on his perch or back here on his platform hugging me, you know, that would be really rewarding to me. And being quiet during the show so he doesn't, you know, interrupt my wants. That's what success for me would really look like.
And so then I suppose the next thing, sorry, Eva, what are you saying?
No, I was just thinking, what would success look like for Spider? What's her things that she would get out of this?
Yeah. He would love getting treats. He's definitely food motivated. He also enjoys tearing things apart. Right now, he's doing a great job of tearing apart some towels. So that's what that would look like. Yeah, for him.
And that's great. So once you've identified what what it looks like for you, what it looks like for Spider, and then it makes it really clear now. We can make it more black and white. So for Spider, we can teach Spider whenever you're on your little perch here, lots of good things can happen. So before any of the barking happens, or before any of the barking starts, you could almost be paying Spider for being there, sitting, lying down, chewing on a stuffed toy. We could even put something nice there for him to lick at, so that we're promoting all the behaviors that we'd like him to do and making them worthwhile for him to do them, so they're more likely to happen again in the future. And like you've got them on the floor over there, if Spider likes to move around a lot, then we could even look at things like what would make it more worthwhile for Spider to go, I just want to chill on my perch, as opposed to running around. And I know for my dog, if I take him out for a nice long run, or I do some nose work with him and play with him, then afterwards he's like, oh, okay, now I'd like to just sleep and chill. And so if I can time it so that he can have his long run before he chills out on his perch, then lying on his perch becomes more reinforcing.
I really appreciate your mentioning that. You know, when I typically try to exercise him in the morning before we do this show, and sometimes I run out of time. That's on me. And so, and you're absolutely right, Chirag. Those are the times when he can be the naughtiest. So he's, as you can see, he's now gotten through all the treats in the box and is ready.
So now would be a good time to maybe get a few treats and pop them on his perch, or like he's sitting there beautifully cuddling you or just behind you. So now would be a good time to provide a few more treats or some attention and say, oh, I like that you just sitting there calmly next to me, good things happen, before he actually engages in the barking or engages in any of the behavior that you would call naughty.
Right. And then I can do a better. No, okay, so what do I do now? You know,
so I would maybe focus on his perch. So maybe talk to his perch, or maybe say, here's a treat, feed the perch.
So I'm talking not to Spider, but I'm talking to his perch. Hello.
Yeah,
perch.
feed the perch. Give the perch a treat for being so good and quiet.
Perch. I like the perch.
Yeah, great. And then excellent. And then Spider's being nice and quiet and lying on the perch. We can pay Spider's behavior too.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. All right. So now he's looking for the next treat. Go ahead, Eva.
Do you have any more of the enrichment toys ready, Larry, so that he can be occupied for a while on the perch as well?
I sure do. I've got another. Here, I'll grab this.
Larry, before you give that to him, again, maybe it might be worth just talk to the perch or talk to something else so you can promote that quiet behavior. And as Spider's doing something that you like, as opposed to barking, then all the enrichment and the great stuff comes out. So he starts to learn in the future, being on your perch means all these fantastic enrichment toys and play toys come out. So that's great. He's on his perch, he's quiet. So now would be a good time to give him his toys.
Okay, so good perch. Very good. Good quiet, Spider. So this is a bag with a whole bunch of towels inside of it, in which are various treats. And Spider's head has just now disappeared inside of the canvas bag, and he's pulling out a towel, one towel at a time. And you know, as long as he's got those towels and those treats to go after, he's pretty quiet.
And I love the fact, like Eva said, you're so prepared. You've got your towels, you've got your treats all ready to go. So, and almost just focusing on, when do I want to give him the towels? Well, if I start, and normally after 5 seconds he starts to bark, then maybe my goal is going to be to try and give him his enrichment bag or his box of toys within the first 5 seconds before the barking even starts. So in the future, we're shaping and teaching Spider that, lying on your perch or showing some calm behaviors means that all these goodies are going to come. And that way you won't end up with the barking happening first, and then all the goodies happen afterwards.
Yes. So he's making his way through it. He is now dragged off the bag, all the way off of his perch. He's got the bag on the floor. He's pretty smart. So
And I think you're pretty smart as well with how you've got that bag and like the towels and the food. I love the idea. I'm going to definitely borrow it from you and use it with my dog as well. Putting treats in towels in a bag and let him go foraging for it. I'm sure he'd love that.
well, that's fantastic, Chirag. What I appreciate about you and all three of you is how positive you're being in this session. You know, you're not saying, oh, you should have. What I'm hearing is, oh, I love how you know, so that reminds me when, you know, I'm working with other humans, whether it's in a training environment or just being a good human being, I can be more positive. And I'm not losing anything by not being positive. What is that? Let me unpack that double negative. I'm gaining by being positive, and you're gaining by my being positive. Yeah. So that's really great wisdom. Now,
You know, Larry, can I tell you something that you don't know
I would love
about that? And that I'm not sure. I think Chirag wasn't there either. So Teresa and I just spent an hour on a Tag Teach webinar talking about where to focus our attention. So it's just amazing how Chirag tagged into that and directed your attention toward the perch and saying, okay, if you want Spider to go to the perch, then if you focus on the perch, that's where he will go. We just spent an hour talking about how we can do that with humans as well. Like where we put our focus is where the other human will put their focus as well. And that goes for both like the physical where you look and how we talk. That's just another aspect of the whole being positive. Go where you want to go. Don't fight the things you don't want.
I love, thank you. I really love hearing that. And you're probably really delighting in the alchemy of that moment. There are no accidents, right? Yes, that really reminds me, you know, to stay focused and to stay positive. And I can, my focus can be directed, and I can stay more positive by directing others, people's focus as well. Yeah, that's really, really helpful stuff. Well, you guys, I haven't been, since I'm running the show solo today, I haven't been clicking along and putting in links to all your guys' websites, but we will do that right away as soon as the show ends, to put in the links to each of your guys' websites, because you've got some really important stuff. Chirag, if I've got this right, we've got your Facebook page, and we've got domesticatedmanners.com, as well as the Woof Conference. And Theresa, we've got Tag Teach, where you're going to see some amazing stuff about doing this work with humans. And Eva, we've got Carpe Momentum. Seize the moment, seize the momentum. Carpe Momentum. And, oh, Theresa, tell us about your new podcast. Completely free. Yeah, glad we remembered that.
No, you mean mine?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
24/7.wtf.
I know. It's a brand new web page. It's a Swedish web store that's beginning to branch out and also sell things international, and where I've gotten on board to help her do parts of that, and also getting the possibility to do digital stuff, so online stuff there. So so far we've done two episodes of just Facebook Lives. The first one with me and Chirag in this beautiful hammock at Theresa's place, talking about the function of behavior, and the second with Theresa and me talking about the beginnings of Tag Teach. And hopefully the third one will be, you will be on, Larry. Ooh,
oh, I would love to.
You and Darwin, and referring back to the beginning of this trip. So I'll get a link to that as well to share with all your listeners.
Yeah, that would be really lovely. Yeah, what Eva's referring to is she and I met back right at the end of February at a conference in Mexico City that we were both speaking at. And the fellow Darwin, who you're going to see on the show eventually, Darwin Angulo, is amazing trainer and lover of animals, dogs, and he is a real visionary in bringing together folks from around the world who are at the top of their game. So it was really, such an honor to be able to be on the same stage with Eva as well. And Eva, you also host the International CCC Conference. And tell folks what CCC stands for.
So stands for Choice Control Communication.
Yes.
And it's a Scandinavian thing, it's a Swedish thing. And then we brought in some now honorary Scandinavians. It started with an all Scandinavian speaker group. Then first year we had wonderful Carrie Davis, who works with reptiles and snakes, coming over from the US. And be our guest speaker, and then she was staying for the next year. So that next year, CHIRAG was our international guest speaker, and hopefully both of them are coming back this year. So we're just incorporating more people into Scandinavia.
Lovely. As you know, this show is a lot about rescue and how we help those who are less fortunate. Each of you, I know, wants to give a shout out to a particular organization. And Chirag, we'll start with you. Who do you have today?
Today I'd like to give a shout out to Battersea Cats and Dogs Home in the UK. All the amazing work that they do in terms of helping so many cats and dogs looking for homes, matching them up. And they're really doing some amazing work in terms of how they assess, changing that model, and helping sort of focus on behavior training and enriching all of those animals' lives.
Beautiful. Yeah. Theresa, back to you.
Yes, it's called the Carolina Waterfowl Rescue. Sorry, we're outside. And they rescue all kinds of everything: waterfowl, pigs. That's where the potbelly pig came from. Horses.
Whoa.
And the thing is, they're really nice to the people who, when you look out in your yard and you go, "Oh my gosh, there's a bird and it's a broken leg and I don't know what to do and I don't know where to go." You call them, they will help you. They'll either talk you through it or they'll come get it themselves. So they're kind to the people as well as the animals.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that reminder about rescuing what we call animals in addition to pet animals. Yeah. And Eva, who do you want to give a shout out to today?
So my shout out today, well, last time I talked to you, I made my shout out to my favorite Swedish shelter in Gothenburg, which is doing amazing work.
Yes.
This time, I would love to do a shout out to a Swedish organization for rabbit welfare. So it's not a shelter. This is a countrywide organization that's doing a lot of work for giving out good, solid, science-based information about pet rabbits, and also doing plenty for enrichment, for creating good habitats, good life conditions, and positive reinforcement training with rabbits. And I see so many good things coming from them that people, no matter what species you're working with, will benefit from the ideas that come from this this amazing rabbit organization. So another Swedish organization there.
Yeah, really appreciate that. And you guys, this show is also about gratitude, especially in this time. How guess who's finished with his treat bag? Yeah, just in time. So any tips for me? What do I do now? I'm out of entertaining things to do.
Is it possible for you to direct your attention to a place where he can go again?
Yeah, I can totally do that. Okay, so I'm gonna step over here where we have his big box of treats, and I've got a few remaining ones that I'm gonna hide for a moment inside of the bottom of the box. And I'm gonna just quickly put the towels on top of it, very improvised. And Spider, how about a sit? Good boy. Wait there. Okay. There we go. All right. So there's a start.
Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate the feed. Good tagging. So this show is about gratitude, and think about who you would like to express gratitude to. My gratitude today goes to my mom, whose birthday is tomorrow. We got to get together
Hey, Mom.
last
Happy birthday.
last Sunday to celebrate her birthday. My girlfriend came over. We all had social distancing in the backyard. I even brought a little table and chair so I could set up in one spot, and they had picnic tables in other spots in the backyard. And we had ourselves a nice social distant birthday dinner. And so think about you guys for a moment who you'd love to show some gratitude. Meanwhile, I want to put up some of your our other comments. We've got Hannah Brannigan. It looks like you know her. I pretty much
I love Hannah. She's an amazing trainer.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You should interview her sometime.
Okay. Thank you. Let's get in touch with Hannah. Yes. And the power of now, my brother. Great to see. Do you know Shelley Wood?
Yeah, she's an amazing trainer who has spent a lot of time working with marine mammals, and an amazing human being as well. So she is based in Florida.
Oh,
Hi,
fantastic.
Shelley.
Yeah, great. And we've got a friend from Norway. I don't suppose, Eva, you know this?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, good to have Scandinavians here.
Yes. And then from South Carolina, it's not too far. You could probably wave, and maybe they'll see you down the road, huh? Hello, Melinda. Yeah. All right. And then our good friend Manish. Good to see you again, Manish. I'm so glad you're with us. Thank you for being such a fan of Spider on this show. And hello, Yvonne. Love this. And we've got a big fan of your horses, Joy. Good horses. Yeah. And my dear friend, Stephen Goldman. Nice show, guys. My good friend, Stevie. Yeah, great to have you with us, Steve. So that's who, there's a bit of it. And we've got, oh, hello from London. So here's a neighbor.
Oh, hi, Nina.
Yeah, great. And who's this person? Elsa Bertelsson.
Hey, Mom.
Oh, that's great. It's not a coincidence that she has your last name, Eva.
It's not a coincidence.
Great. Yeah. Now you're going to be going back to Sweden soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually now have my ticket. So leaving here in a week.
Wow.
But only so that she can come back. If she doesn't leave, they're not going to let her come back.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. It's strange that Chirag isn't in the same window as. Okay.
Okay.
Set that up. Here we go. Is that better?
Okay.
Is that better? Replicate. Okay.
Oh, another great tag teacher. She works
Oh,
with
yeah.
tag teach in the school system with kids. She's brilliant.
Did you say?
teacher, work trainer.
Did you say Tulsa?
No,
In England.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Well, welcome. Also, Rebel Kate. Yeah. Would you either any of you or all of you like to express some gratitude today for somebody in your life or in the world?
I'd
The
like to
thing
say.
is,
Sorry, go on, Eva.
you sure? There's like the possibility to express gratitude to Theresa and to her family and to Chirag for this time is like, it's perfect timing. It's been an
Once in a
amazing
lifetime.
time. It is a once in a lifetime thing. So my gratitude in this show definitely goes to all the people I've gotten to spend this time with. It's been
Beautiful.
quite spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the world is blessed by the gift that you've given these two great trainers, behavior people, Theresa. Chirag or Teresa, would you like to say any final words? Any?
I'd like to say I'm grateful for you asking and inviting us to be on the show and sharing all the work that you do with Spider and all the information you share with everyone in regards to sort of rescue animals and shelters and just providing the best care that we can for them.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me, coming from you. Teresa, any final words here from you?
So she took my first one, and then I went, okay, next. Chirag took my next one. So I gotta say, again, it's such a once in a lifetime scenario that even though it was under negative circumstances for a lot of people, it certainly is life-changing for me, and I appreciate that.
Beautifully, beautifully said. Well, thank you guys, all of you, and thank you guys at home, hopefully staying safe, and we want you to stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow here on Dog Hugs. Bye, you guys. Big hugs to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Larry. See you
Thank
soon.
you, Larry.